Natural. Oh, supernatural. Mad, over, bigger, supernatural. Uh, I have never had any experience. Everything has been very logical for me in my life. Um, but I think that there's a spiritual universe, but um, that's a big topic. That's a big question. I've all my life I can explain everything that happened. I can explain people's actions. There was nothing supernatural. There was nothing crazy. There were no ghosts. There were no strange noises. There were no poltergeists. There were no noises in the night. There were no monsters. There was nothing crazy. I mean, if you watch a lot of horror films, they sort of give you the idea that there's a lot of crazy stuff in the world, but I think there's not. Everything can be explained very logically. Um, I have never had any big negative experiences like that. When there is something bad in your world or in your life, you have two choices. There's two things you can do. Number one, you can fight it. Or number two, you can just ignore it. Just let it go. You have two choices. Anything negative that happens. Now, sometimes you have to fight. And sometimes you have to ignore it. And it's really difficult to know which way is the right way. Because sometimes you have to go to the fire. And sometimes the fire is too big. You have to go away from the fire. And it's really difficult to know what choice is the right choice. And in life, a lot of people make mistakes. You know, some people go to the fire when the fire is too big and they get burned. And some people go away from the fire and they never fight. They never fight, so they never get the things that they want in life. And so in every situation you have to make a choice. To fight it or to walk away. And if you fight, you have to understand that you have to win. Because if you don't win, you will be fighting all your life the same fight. And that's difficult. And if you walk away, you have to live with the fact that you didn't fight, that you made that choice. Sometimes you have to walk away. There will be some problems in life that will not be a problem because it's not a problem. Fix it. And there will be some problems in life that you don't want. Thank you, but not interested. Thank you very much. Thank you, but no thank you. And life constantly gives us these problems, and we have to make this choice to stand and fight or to walk away. And you never know what is the right thing. You never know. So you play tennis. Sometimes when you play tennis, you have to make a decision. You have to hit the ball and there or there. You've got a thousandth of a second to make that decision. And you don't know, right? You don't know if you're going to hit the ball right. You don't know if it's going to land in the right place. You don't know if the shot is going to work. You have a strategy, you have a plan, but you don't know all the information. So that's that's hard. It's hard to live with the fact that there are some things we just don't know. There are some things we just can't predict. I told you last year about a problem that I had with a neighbor. And I looked at the problem and I analyzed the problem. And I thought, I have two choices. I can fight it or I can walk away. And I thought, I want more information. The first thing I thought was, I want more information. Because when you have more information, you get a clearer picture. The more information you have, the clearer the picture usually is. So I started to fight a little bit. And then I got more information. And the more information I got was the problem is not this big. The problem was massive. And I thought, there's no way I can win this. If I fight now and I keep fighting, I will be fighting my whole life. And so I decided to walk away. I decided it's not my fight. It's not for me. It's for somebody else. It's somebody else's problem. It's not my problem. So I walked away. And I have to live with that. Now maybe I could fight and win, but maybe I could fight and fight and fight and fight and fight and fight and just spend the rest of my life, in that situation of tension and stress, which would just not be good. And what's also crazy is that sometimes you have to change. You have to change your idea. You have to change your direction. You have to change your plan. Let's go back to that game of tennis. You have a strategy. It's not working. You're losing. What do? You change. You change your tactics. You change your strategies. You change your short game to a long game. You change your lobs to a drop shot. You change playing on the backhand to playing on the forehand. You slow down your service. You do what you can. Sometimes you start to fight, and then you, like me, you're like, okay, maybe not a good idea. So you change and you walk away. So sometimes you have to change your plans as well. But you still have to make that choice to fight the problem or to walk away. And sometimes when you fight, you become stronger. So sometimes the best thing to do is fight because you become stronger, you become a better person. And sometimes it's best to walk away because sometimes the fight will kill you. It will take all your energy. It will take all your I'm sure you have met people in life and they have no energy, right? Dead already, right? And it's life. Life has killed them already, right? And that's what life does. It's hard. It's hard. So yeah, well, crazy people. You know why crazy people are crazy, right? Yes, you asked about crazy people. So crazy people are crazy because there's no logic in when they fight and when they walk away. Crazy people fight when they should walk away, and they walk away when they should fight. There's no there's no logic in their choices and in that principle. So something you'll find even crazier people who just always fight. They just always fight all the time, or even the opposite of that, which should be always walk away. It's very crazy in a negative sense. Always walk away. You don't decide the results of the battle. the fight. You don't decide the result. The hard work makes the result, but you don't decide the result. But you do get to choose which battles you fight. You get to choose in sport, which competitions you enter. Yeah, you get to choose in life which university you go to. You get to choose which subject you want to study. You get to choose who you want to speak to, basically. So you get a choice, and that choice is very important. You can enter the competition, but you don't know exactly who you're going to play in the competition. So some things you have control over, some things you don't have control over. And the final point, sometimes you're fighting and you don't know that you're fighting. This happens to a lot of people. They're in a war, but they don't know they're in a war. There's some people, their whole life is a war and they don't actually know it. They don't actually realize that there's a fight happening. So, you will experience this in personal relationships with people, with friends, right? Sometimes you will argue with your friend, and sometimes you will go, forget it, right? It's not important. It's not important. So it's a choice that we all have to make. That's really important in everything that we do. In general, it is not good to always walk away. Some people always walk. It's not good sometimes because we have to fight some things. It's not good to always walk away. But sometimes, if you have seen any of the James Bond movies, note that James Bond spends most of his time running away. Right? That's what most of the films are. James Bond running away with people chasing him. So that's there's a lesson that we can learn there from that. And in my life, I have had a lot of fights, and some were good ideas and some were bad ideas. And I think now I know a little bit better what I should fight and what I should walk away from. If it's what you want, if it's your dream, it's probably you should fight for it. But if it's not your dream, it's somebody else's dream, you walk away from that. So, but when two people have the same dream and want the same thing, those are the great contests. Those are the great battles. That's the Wimbledon final, right? That's it's war sometimes, really physical war and conflict. Yeah. Right. Life without problems does not exist. This is just knock them down. Next problem, knock it down. Just keep going. Right. Good questions.